Hmm. Live action Masters of the Universe. The Masters of the Universe lore has been changed. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including what's going on with that Chris Stuckmann movie. Wait, there's a Chris Stuckmann movie? Yeah, there is. One that he's directing himself. We got some Megan 2 casting news. Emma Stone's working on a chess movie called The Curse. We'll take a look at what's opening up this weekend, including what's going on with the Fall Guy. I'll be doing my formal review. But we'll start off today's show by talking about the Masters of the Universe live action film gets a summer 2026 release date. On the surface, I say yes. It's about time. We do need to have another crack at this property because it is ripe for the picking of, interesting storytelling. But, as I said, on the face, it does seem good, right? Set on Eternia, He-Man fights Skeletor for powers over who controls Castle Grayskull, right? No, that's apparently not about what this movie's going to be about. The live-action movie. It's going to be the screenplay by Chris Butler, and the attached directors are Aaron and Adam Nee. The story of the live-action He-Man movie will be 10-year-old Prince Adam, who crashed to Earth in a spaceship and was separated from his magical power, the only link to his home on Eternia. All right. After tracking it almost down 2 decades later, Prince Adam is whisked back across space to defend his home planet against the evil forces of Skeletor. But to defeat such a powerful villain, Prince Adam will first need to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Guys, this is the story that's all across all the big trades. Mattel's Masters of the Universe moves from Netflix to Amazon for the summer 2026 release. Travis Knight to direct. What? Travis Knight directing here. So Variety says Travis Knight. What? Well, formerly attached directors Aaron and Adam Nee. Sorry, I misread that. My bad. But we got it fixed here within the better of the story, so it is what it is. Hey, this is what happens during a live show. Travis Knight. So he's done some. He's handled some of the Transformers movies. And this new plot synopsis, guys. And I liked what he did with Bumblebee, but it just doesn't sound like He-Man, right? 10-year-old Prince Adam who crashed to Earth in a spaceship. It's very Superman-ish, if you get what I'm saying. Why does he have to come to Earth? One of the things that I felt like, I know people don't like the political stuff, but there was an issue there with like his family and stuff, and wanting to be like, he didn't want to necessarily become like the next king or whatever kind of thing or whatever that they kind of sort of dealt with. But it just sounds, on the surface, it sounds like that Transformers 1 trailer where they're trying to reinvent some of the lore to fit in with, I don't know. But then you got the people out there saying, but James, in a limited comic run back in 1991, they did have Optimus and Megatron be friends. In a limited run, it's like, or in a small little series offshoot. It's like, guys, that's not the main series, right? So it's kind of like He-Man was always on Eternia. I don't know why we have to go to Earth. I don't know why people feel like they have to inject it seems like, again, what I've said before, somebody had this story idea in their head. They got the green light to do some kind of project, and they're like, well, how about you work on the He-Man story? And it's like, well, what's the story about? Well, you'll help develop it. Well, I got this other story. Let me see if I can shoehorn that in now and make it fit into He-Man. And sometimes it works, but for the most part, it majority, on the majority of it, does not work when they try to shoehorn in stories. I would go back to that 2000 series, man. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Try to adapt some of the stories from here. Why would you pay other writers for it when you've got writers that have already crafted the material and resonated with the fans, right? Um, it's not a hard story. This is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Is not a story where it's like you have to reinvent this wheel. As I said, it's good guys against bad guys. The power for control over Castle Grayskull and the swords, right? It's not a tough one to crack. I always bring up this story from, remember when they tried to do the live action G.I. Joe, and it just it was a complete swing and a miss because they tried to reinvent Cobra Commander.
You will call me Commander.
And it's just like, what the heck is that? What are you guys doing? Like they made him and Duke friends. Why, guys? Why? Why do you have to feel like you have to reinvent this thing? You don't have to. There's some established lore there that's so okay. Fine, it's generic, but you're going to please the fan base that made it popular in the first place by adapting the original stories, and then that's where you augment that with different tones to try to bring in the younger crowds. That's how you do it. You don't try to reinvent this wheel. So if he's 10 years old when he crashes, and almost 2 decades later he'll be 30 years old. Yeah. So what the heck is going on with this property? First it was Noah Centineo, and then he got replaced by Kyle Allen. And now this sounds like, it doesn't even sound like this Kyle Allen's going to be actor, not the football player. It was going to be this guy playing Prince Adam and He-Man. And if he's going to be 30, I don't think that this guy's going to be able to do it. It's just recast. And if he's going to be older, I'm sorry, guys. I said this shirtless. Yeah. There you go. There's your He-Man, right there. I don't know why you wouldn't. He's got the frame, he's got the build. Alan Richardson. It's on, like, people would respond to that too. They'd be like, yeah, Alan Richardson, he's a big dude. Put him in that costume. He's got the physique for it already, man. And you can have the Prince Adam be a different person. You can maybe have Kyle Allen be the Prince Adam character, but then when he gets the He-Man sword, that's when he transforms into Alan Richardson, right? It just gives me pause for 2026. I don't know. Maybe I'm not reading this synopsis properly. I have no problem once he's back on Eternia, but why does he come to Earth? But to defeat such a powerful villain, Prince Adam will first need to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man. And then this almost reads like it's going to be the journey of Prince Adam becoming He-Man, and we won't get He-Man until like the last 5 minutes. Imagine if they did that. You know how angry people would be if they did that? It's like, let's try to create a Masters of the Universe movie that will make people angry. Well, your new script ideas, certainly press some buttons. Let's take some live comments. Ardglass Viking says, I'm skeptical of an Earth-based Masters of the Universe. What's a 10-year-old doing joyriding on a spaceship? It's not what I remembered. Yeah, Bifer in the live chat says, hey, put Zac Efron up to bat for older Prince Adam. He was halfway there in Iron Claw. Yeah, Zac Efron from Iron Claw. That's a good call. Let me pull up what he looked like in Iron Claw. Because if you're going to go for the older Prince Adam, everybody called it when they saw him, just because of the haircut. But he's also got the physique, right? You could totally see that if he's the older Prince Adam. Now he's not as tall or anything as big, but he's also got the acting chops, and he proved that watching Ironclaw. Ironclaw was a really good movie last year, guys. If you haven't seen it, um, Zac Efron and a lot of the cast there did a fantastic job. Um, could he be Prince Adam? Could you retool it? Because if he's going to be 30 years old now, Zac Efron's a little bit older than that. How old is Zac Efron? 36. No, you can swing that maybe. You could totally swing that and have him be He-Man. And he's not going to be super tall like Alan Ritchson or anything, but I would say that's a good call there, Art Glass. All right, guys, what do you think about the Masters of the Universe live action from Travis Knight 2026? Do you like that synopsis? He comes to Earth first, and then he's got to go fight Skeletor. As I said, it's on the surface, it sounds terrible, but there may be a way to have that work. Like his parents sent him here. Like acknowledge his parents, right? He loved his parents. Not like the Kevin Smith version where he's like uh, a brat. Because he was also a Boy Scout. He was very much like Superman. And maybe that's what they're trying to echo. I don't know. It'll have to be handled very delicately. Let's move on to the Fall Guy review. All right. Let me just make sure that I got all my materials set here. Because I want to do my review and then we'll talk about what's opening up this weekend, just to get it out of the way, kind of thing. Yeah, we are live, guys, so sometimes it takes those. And I'm the only one operating the OBS. Yeah. Otherwise, somebody would have already pre-done that for me, and we would have had it ready to get to go. Okay. High action, high intensity. The Fall Guy is in theaters this weekend, guys. It stars Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, and it's a good movie. It is. It's a touch long though, 2 hours and 6 minutes. Well, I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. The synopsis reads: a down-and-out stuntman must find the missing star of his ex-girlfriend's blockbuster film. Yeah. So if you saw my straight out of the theater reaction for this, guys, from the trailers and such, it's all about the stunt works. He's the stunt man, and there's a bit of a falling out that happens between him and Emily Blunt. And at times I thought that, okay, this is going to be like a love story kind of thing, but it's like a slapstick kind of um, popcorn fun flick that happens. Ryan Gosling puts himself all the way out there for this film, and it works for the most part. It does have some pacing issues, for sure. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes as well. But Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt have some great chemistry. If you don't know, I'm a huge fan of Emily Blunt, and they champion the stunts in this. If you like stunt work, you like seeing people put their bodies on the line. Um, it's very Hollywood stunts. It's not Jackie Chan type of stunts, but it's entertaining and it's worth going to see in the theaters, in my opinions. Okay, let's talk about those pacing issues. Let's talk about what didn't really work for me here, because it did put a big smile on my face. I sat in the theater last night with my big bag of popcorn. I was like, because this movie, the way that it's written, because they work in the movie industry, the dialogue, they're like shooting off of each other, trying to one up each other with how much they know about dialogue from famous movies, right? So they'll be like quoting lines and stuff, and they're like, okay, what is that from? What is that from? I recognize what they're saying that from, and it's kind of like, can you catch what they're all of these ins and outs and Easter eggs are for? And I thought it was, and that added to the fun. that added to the fun for me. Um, Pacing wise, though, there's a big part in this about halfway through where it just completely drops off. Uh, and I blame the director there from Bullet Train, David Leitch, for this. A couple of times in the movie, they will be talking about scenes that we just watched. So you'll see him run and jump off a building. He'll land. In the next scene, we've got some dialogue of him saying, I just ran off and jumped off a building. It's like, well, we as the audience know that. So the crafting of the story could have been tighter. There's a couple of scenes in here that felt like it could have been edited. Yes, it's 2 hours and 6 minutes, but it felt like it could have been easily 2 hours and 50 minutes. And I totally forgot this in my straight out of the theater reaction. Hannah Waddingham knocks it out of the park here. I think that some people will say that she steals the show. She's really good, and that wig that she's wearing or whatever. I didn't recognize her at first. I was like, oh yeah, right. Hannah Waddingham's in this, and it's good. So what happens if you don't know from the plot synopsis? He's a stuntman. Aaron Taylor Johnson's the actor that goes missing, and there's a bit of a mystery. Why did he go missing? Why can't we find him? And as he slowly uncovers that mystery, that's basically what the bulk of the story is. It is a little bit muddled at times, though, right? It's kind of like it goes off on some side stuff that they think that is funny. We just saw that Chris Hemsworth talked about his experiences on Thor: Love and Thunder, where he was like, maybe we ad-libbed a little too much in that scene. It got carried away from me and us. And when we tried it was fun on set, but when we try to edit it all together, it shifts in tone and it loses its pacing, right? And that's sort of what happens here in The Fall Guy. Now, that normally would be a bad thing, a terrible bad thing. And if somebody says that that pacing and everything slows down and it gets drawn out, I can't disagree with it, but I gave it a pass because of Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. In that entire third act, there's a big laugh that comes in the third act, that cameo. I'm not going to destroy it, but it's worthwhile seeing. So let's go over to my score sheet and put in some preliminary numbers here, guys. Acting, directing, story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of a possible 1 point each. So the acting, guys, it's serviceable. There's nothing Oscar worthy in here. There's nothing in here that makes you go, wow, oh, I want to check that out. It's just, it serves the film. Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt do elevate those tedious scenes. They do. Because they're just that good, right? Directing, David Leitch handled all the technical aspects well. All the stunt works, all the stunts that go into the film are executed well. It feels natural and organic. It doesn't feel like, oh, we're just going to do a stunt for the sake of a stunt kind of thing. It's telegraphed. They telegraph the stunts. And if somebody said, well, then you could, it doesn't really fit, James. It felt like, well, no, it's part of the story. The story premise is interesting. It took me a while to realize that it was Winston Duke playing the on-set stunt choreographer. The Winston Duke, the big guy from Black Panther, Wakanda, right? He's in this, and he also does a really good job. So right down the middle there for me right now, for story wise, I wanted it to be kind of like the TV show where you go into these little mysteries and you try to solve it and figure it out. But about 40 minutes into it, it's like, well, what's the mystery here? What's going on here? And that's what I mean about that kind of flatness in the middle of the film. But just realize, guys, the pacing of it is fairly quick. So when you're watching a dull scene, know that it's not going to carry on for like 2 or 3 minutes. So because of the execution of that, because of the execution of the stunts and stuff, I'll give directing a 1.5. But I got to chop it down because of the story, and I got to chop it down because of those pacing problems. So cinematography is a full point because it's well photographed. It's not the shaky cam kind of stuff that's all over the place. It's got a lot of great needle drops. So the score, the soundtrack, is a selling point in this movie for me. It's got a lot of like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. I dig that. Um, Good use of the soundtrack and score. Miami Vice is all I'm gonna say, guys. Miami Vice. So it's got like a lot of those inside Easter eggs. Okay, so with that being said, 5.5 is where we're standing right now. Let's go over to the Rotten Tomato meter and see what people are saying about this. See if we're in alignment with some people. Rotten Tomatoes has it at an 86% by 136 reviews by the critics. It's certified fresh. I saw it at an advanced screening last night, so I don't expect any audience numbers to come out, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be around the same mark. I think it's going to be around the 85, in the 80s. It's just fun. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Stephanie Shu, Winston Duke, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Every time that I saw Aaron Taylor Johnson on screen here, uh, I was just thinking, okay, he's going to be our Bond, right? Um, and they don't really show him too much in the trailers, but every scene that he's doing, yeah, there he is, Tom Ryder. Like he's going to be our Bond, right? And of course he doesn't like him, but you can see. Yeah, I was looking at him. Could he be our Bond? Could he be our Bond? Maybe, maybe. Okay, back to the snapshot reviews. Let's take a look at what the critics are saying about this. See if we agree with them. Okay. Top critic from The Guardian. A solid serving of popcorn entertainment. Indeed. Fully indeed. New York Times. The Fall Guy is divertingly slick, playful nonsense about a guy who lives to get brutalized again and again, which may be a metaphor for contemporary masculinity and its discontents through perhaps not, though perhaps not. What the heck? That's a bit of a word salad towards the end there, isn't it? All right, let's take a look at some people who didn't like it. Matt Oakes. Gosling and Blunt's chemistry is undeniable. The Fall Guy soaring when the two superstars' charisma flares, creating the film's most surefire pyrotechnics. Nevertheless, Leach mostly fails to ignite the movie around them. Yeah, he Leach his inadequacies. Maybe I will chop down directing then, back down to 1. That point is well taken. His execution of the story is not all that good, but he had fun making it. I don't know. Detroit News didn't like it. The Fall Guy's final act is so convoluted, and not even Gosling can keep it on the rails. When the Fall Guy fails, it falls hard. No, the third act is probably the best part of the film. What are you talking about? Because it's all stunts. Yeah, it's silly. And it's weird that I just published like a small little treatise about silliness in movies, guys. Okay, no, that's a good example. You know how I just talked about silliness in movies? And I put up 3 examples. Argyle, The Beekeeper, and Boy Kills World. And they were vastly different in the types of silliness that they brought, but I liked them all. The Beekeeper was more serious in tone. Like it took itself seriously, right? But it was like, yeah, it's cardboard characters. No single guy can walk into a building and blow things up, like in The Beekeeper. The Fall Guy is not like The Beekeeper in that kind of aspect. The Fall Guy is a little bit more like Argyle, if you know what I mean, in that kind of tone. So expect that. That's the best way that I could probably explain that. So a little bit more like Argyle, a little bit not quite like Beekeeper, if that clarifies anything for you guys. Where were we? where were we? Did we get what Jeremy John said about this? Did I go over him? Because he's usually posted, and I want to see his. Uh, oh well, I don't want to spend here a whole lot of time looking over it. If he was there, if the powers that be upstairs wanted us to see him, then I'm sure that they would have. Associated Press top critic with the self-referential humor. Yeah, there's lots of that, guys. The industry jokes and the promise of a little romance. It feels like one of those movies we all complain they don't make anymore. Hmm. Well, I just gave you an example of some of them. Somebody who didn't like it. No, we're not going to use that one. Not somebody from Spain. Eric Estrada. What? Independent from the UK. If the film results in stunt performers gaining a little more respect from the public, then that's ideal. If it merely reminds them how likable Gosling is, that's good too. Yeah, Gosling, he 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 shows that he's multifaceted as an actor. Like it's nothing like his performance in say Blade Runner 2049 or anything, but that's how versatile he is. All right, I'm not seeing Jeremy Johns, but whatever. Maybe I passed over him. Okay, Matt Donato liked it. Okay, he's somebody that we know. A fun-filled, fun-living love letter to the undervalued stunt performance profession. It's full-geared popcorn entertainment that only someone wholly passionate about stunt work could ever deliver. And you guys know that I always champion in all of our watch-alongs and stuff. I champion stunt work and the work that goes into all that stuff. So, 85% by the critics. Is that where I'm going to land finally after I do some tinkering with my reviews? Watchability factor is definitely a one if you want to see it in theater. Go, yeah, because of the sound and everything, guys. You got to check it out for that. But I would totally watch this again. So I'll give 1.5 for that. And that's where we're sitting at 7 out of 10 for the Fall Guy. Yeah, um, because a lot of that story issues do bog it down. There is, when I was watching it, there is, I think, a better cut of this film that would have made it tighter and maybe a little bit more serious in tone, so that it would have been a little bit more like The Beekeeper, as opposed to Argyle. But I had fun with both of those, and I had fun with this one. So it's kind of like there was an opportunity in there to have a more serious kind of film, uh, more kind of like the live action Miami Vice, if you ever saw that. Like there was an opportunity to have that for this film. Um, but I enjoyed it anyway, guys. It was a lot of fun. 7 out of 10 for the Fall Guy. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below if you will go see it this weekend. I had fun with it. All right, guys. Hey, if you like talking about movies and stuff, you like this kind of stuff, we do this live. We are a live show, so I'll prove that to you by taking some live comments. Bifer says Travis Knight makes terrible movies. Arglass Viking says I enjoyed seeing Ryan Gosling on Jimmy Kimmel. He sells it. Yeah, and Ryan Gosling's been out selling this stuff, guys. He does a lot of really cool things for the promotional materials for this film. So as I said, if you like this kind of stuff, come join us here on Mirror Domains. What else can you find? Trailer reactions for things like Deadpool and Wolverine, Atlas with J-Lo, The Watchers that comes out this month, right? Full series reactions for series like Fallout and Reacher, two great series. Movie reviews for Abigail, Civil War, full movie reactions for like Roadhouse. And then, of course, we do movie news headlines throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, and we do it live. So you guys will always have opportunities to interact. All right, if you liked what you've seen, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. You're watching Mirror Domains. All right, that'll be cut out and put up on the channel later on. Pfeiffer says, cool review. Thanks, man. Thanks. Okay. I just wanted to get that out of the way first because we're going to be talking about opening up this weekend and looking at box office stuff. So it just I felt like I didn't want to be redundant in making some points about the Fall Guy. Okay. Opening up this week. Yes. Let's take a look. Box office predictions this week. This will the summer movie season kick off with a whimper or a bang? Well, it's poised to actually be starting off with a bang, I would imagine. Um, early industry predicting 35 to 40 million for the Fall Guys opening. The only other movie that's opening up this weekend is Tarot. Um, Tarot. They're thinking that Tarot will come in the fifth spot in the Phantom Menace re-release, which I am going to go see this Friday. Or no, Saturday. Sorry, I'm seeing the Phantom Menace in the theater. I'm taking my niece the first time she's going to see a Star Wars movie in the theater. If I had my choice, some theaters are actually playing all six of them, I think. But here in my little slice of the world, I only get the Phantom Menace. But hey, it's Star Wars. Can't wait to see the pod race again on the big screen with the sound. Ooh, yeah. Um, that's going to be the highlight of my weekend. So, um, just looking at what last weekend's numbers were, Challengers is going to drop off. Unsung Hero will drop off. Um, but Unsung Hero is that faith based movie and will have some staying power because of that faith base. Okay, so Fall Guy will be number one. And then, see, they said Tarot's only going to make 5 million, right? Challengers is down to 7, and then Unsung Hero will be 6. I could see that. Actually, I think I kind of agree with that top 5. Now that I see the number and we're trying to put it into a little bit more context. Unsung Hero, I don't know. Challengers will get chopped in. It'll be at least a 50% drop. It's almost Challengers and Unsung Heroes may flip flop, but that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so Fall Guy opens up this weekend, guys, and I just did my quick review for it. It's being liked 77.3 by IMDb score. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 85%. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I still like the movie. I like the movie, and I think, fairly fair in my review. So 85% there. The only other movie that's opening up this weekend in theaters is Tarot, which I'm seeing this afternoon at 4 p.m. So in 5 hours, I'm seeing Tarot, an hour and 32 minutes. It's a horror movie. When a group of friends recklessly violates the sacred rule of tarot readings, they unknowingly unleash an unspeakable evil trapped within the cursed cards. And they brutally get killed one by one, right? In some gruesome fashion. Uh, hey, I got no problem with that. I have no idea who the rest of the cast is other from Jake Batalon. It's just going to be one of those quick little horror movies that comes and goes. I don't expect too much from it, but hey, you guys know how much I like horror, and it's not good that it doesn't have any scores up yet because it opens up today, guys. Well, technically tomorrow, but no review embargo. The review embargo is up till now. Not good, not good, but I'll give it a fair shake. I'll give it a fair shake. That's what's opening up this weekend. No other big movies on the streaming services. There is one that's on Amazon Prime that I thought we were going to get with Anne Hathaway, but I don't see it listed. And I thought it was going to be actually yesterday. And I don't see it. It's not The Idea of You. It's not Hustlers. It's it's a bit of a bummer because I was actually looking forward to seeing that Anne Hathaway movie. Um, what was it called? Let me pull up her IMDb. I'll show you what it was since we're talking about it. The Idea of You. Yeah. Did I? Unless I completely missed it on Prime, streaming on Prime Video. It says it there. It says it there, James. Did you just not see it? No, you just didn't see it. It's right there. Huh. Weird. So it's there. Hour and 57 minutes. It has that guy from May, December last year, right? Based on the acclaimed. What is this? Centers on Selena and Hathaway, a 40-year-old single mom who begins an unexpected romance with a 24-year-old Hayes Campbell, the lead singer of August Moon, the hottest boy band on the planet. Okay. That's opening up this weekend too, guys. But that's on streaming. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if we'll have time tomorrow because tomorrow I'm working until 1 p.m. and then I want to come back and do some news. If we're not doing any news, then maybe we can stream it then, get it under our belt, add another movie to the list. Arglass says, did I read that right? That Tarot is only PG-13? Yes. But I think it doesn't have to be rated. Not all horrors have to be rated R, right? What was Talk to Me? Talk to Me was rated R. Well, interesting. So that's what's opening up this week. All right, let's get into the better of some more movie news headlines. Emma Stone, The Curse. Emma Stone reunites with Nathan Fielder for A24 film based on a true chess scandal. The Stars of the Curse. Oh, sorry, it's The Curse. The Stars of the Curse. It's the chess movie is not going to be called The Curse. Huh. Then I misread that in my notes. Whatever. The Curse is a series that they were in, right? Or something like that. Emma Stone, Academy Award winner. Got to be in contention for my top 15 favorite actresses. She's always awesome. So what is this about? Let's just take a look. The description of the project states, in true Meseric fashion, Checkmate sees the author tackling an esoteric and true life whose story may still be developing. Per the proposal that was being circulated, the book will spotlight the biggest scandal in the history of chess, focusing on the generational battle between Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen and the young bad boy of chess, Hans Niemann. The latter was accused of cheating in one of the pair's head-to-head matches, which became an all-consuming scandal in the world of chess and beyond. Well, this is the first I'm hearing of this scandal. That's because I don't follow chess. All right. Per the package, the story is not only about the rivalry and scandal, but the macro backdrops in the rise of billion-dollar chess industry and so-called collision of traditional and innovation in the game. Whew. That was a lot to spit out. The Insider was taken back as much how the studios were saying, I've never seen an A24 do that before. I guess A24 is competing now. So I guess A24 had an aggressive method of acquiring the movie, making an offer that guaranteed 7 figures. Wow. And a 30-minute timer for a decision to be made. Wow. So they were fairly aggressive in acquiring it. It sounds like if it's going to be from A24, then it's going to be a little bit more grittier in tone, right? They're not going to pull any punches with the scandal. Curious. Megan 2 casting. Ivana Sakno lands a major role in Megan 2. Who's this Ivana Sakno? She looks vaguely familiar, right? Well, I had to look it up. Yeah, she's from the Star Wars Ahsoka series. What's her name from Ahsoka? Can anybody remember her name? What was her name? I couldn't remember. And we did full live watch alongs for Ahsoka. I liked her in Ahsoka. Uh, she's got a very interesting look to her, but I couldn't remember. Okay, so it was Shin Hati. Not a very memorable name, guys. Um, I did like her performance. I am curious about her character and where it's going to go. If it's going to go, if we get an Ahsoka season 2. Uh, because it wasn't very well received by the audiences. Ray Stevenson is no longer with us. And what are you going to do with it? Like, I want to see more Ahsoka, but I think it would be better if they just transformed it into a movie, put the production values into making it a movie. But anyway, she's going to be in Megan too, the dancing robot. I don't know if she's going to be a robot herself, uh, but May 16th, 2025. Artificial doll. Yeah, maybe it should be like a different generation of the doll or something. I don't know. It's possible. Because just like what Robocop 2 did, you want to see another version of Megan and maybe they'll fight. Right? That'll be fun to see. Because, of course, an AI would hate another AI. It would be threatened by it. Just the way that Ultron was threatened by Jarvis, right? Curious. May 16th, 2025, Megan 2. I'll have to take a look at it. All right. There was a trailer that dropped yesterday for Lee. Lee came out in some places in 2023, but I think it's coming out on streaming now. So they re-released the trailer. I'm curious about it because it's got one of my favorite actresses that definitely is in the top 15 with Kate Winslet. It's also got this Josh O'Connor that we just saw from Challengers. I didn't think he was all that good of an actor. People seem to like him. Charisma, and it's got Alexander Skarsgård. And why does Alex put on some pants? For God's sakes, man. For God's sakes, put on some pants. Uh, okay. Andrea Riseborough. Oh, Marion Cotillard. Cool. Andy Samberg. Fascinating. All right, let's check out this trailer. It's only like a minute, guys. Lee. She's like a war photographer.
Why does it matter? They're just pictures.
We just got a sort of a story like this from
Do you want the world to know about you?
You think I went to war so people would know my name?
Wow. Makeup, huh? That looked pretty decent, too. There's Alexander.
I'm heading to the front. Ready to go?
We don't send women to combat.
Well, that's a problem, because I'm here. Even when I wanted to look away.
They put it on the line, don't
I knew I couldn't.
they? Interesting. Yeah, that looked interesting. I'll watch it because of Kate Winslet. And curious at Andy Samberg taking a crack at some dramatic work, which he can do because we saw him do that in what was it, Palm Springs? Alexander Skarsgård. Hopefully, he keeps his pants on. NGL, that Andy Samberg appearance was a jump scare. What does NGL stand for, guys? I forgot. It's great to see Andy Samberg in a new movie. It looks like he's branching out. I'm so glad that Josh O'Connor is booked and blessed. Raw, I just saw Popstar Never Stops. Yeah. So a lot of Andy Samberg fans have shown up for this. Great cast. Yeah, and it's got like that serious tone. Um, yeah, we saw, yeah, Sandberg. That's a selling point for me too. I want to see him take on that more serious role because he can do it. He can. Cool, man. What do you think about that Lee trailer? When does it come out? It's probably going to get a limited release in art house theaters. We'll have it for sure. Coming 2024. Does the IMDb not have a release date for that yet? It came out in some festivals in 2023. That's why it's listed there. Not gonna lie. Okay, NGL Art Glass says not gonna lie. But yeah, hmm, curious. Very curious. Cool. All right, let's move on. Shelby Oaks is the movie that Chris Stuckmann is directing. Shelby Oaks, Mike Flanagan boards Chris Stuckmann horror film as executive producer. So it looks like all of that, well, posturing for good faith that Stuckmann has been doing is paying off because Mike Flanagan is one of the best horror creators out there right now. Uh, because if you didn't know, he did like Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor. He just did The Fall of the House of Usher. He did Doctor Sleep. He's somebody that I respect for crafting stories. And now that he's going to be backing Chris Stuckmann in his horror, Shelby Oaks, cool. So he's going to have a bit of an infusion of money there. Um, Guys, I'll be brutally honest with you though. Your first movie, James Cameron made Spawn 2 as his first movie. Flying Fish. Um, Not everybody's going to have like a home run, right? So Stuckmann, I hate to break this to you. I know it's passionate for you and stuff, but the odds of Shelby Oaks being a good movie, small. I'll give it a fair shake because I like horror, and I'm curious about what Stuckmann can do. But cool that Mike Flanagan seems that he to think that it's worth putting some of his own money into, and then maybe just to have some kind of like. Usually, executive producer means that they're just giving money, but he'll have a little bit of input and maybe some guidance that he can offer. We'll have to wait and see what Stuckmann can do. I don't tend to follow. I'm still subscribed to Stuckmann, but since he doesn't really review movies anymore, he just posts positive things about movies. Uh, I take it with a grain of salt. Like he does still post the odd occasional commentary editorial about the state of things that I find fascinating. But for the for the most part, his takes on movies I don't listen to anymore. Jeremy Johns is still the big guy to go to when I want to listen to movie reviews. For me, at least. And then I like Perry Nemiroff. Uh, she's usually fairly good, although she's got other interests, just like the way that Stuckmann has about trying to protect a certain brand. Anyway, Shelby Oaks centers on Mia's frantic search for her sister Riley after Riley ominously disappeared in the last tape of a group of paranormal investigators called the Paranormal Paranoids. As Mia's obsession grows, she begins to suspect that the imaginary demon from Riley's childhood may have been real. So, well, we just saw Imaginary this year. A bit like that, maybe? The project has been inspired by and accompanied by a long lead of online marketing campaign. Yeah, he had to go crowdfund this, right? Camille Sullivan, Keith David, The Thing. That's kind of cool. Brian Sexton the Third, Michael Beach. All right. Sarah Dern. Well, the one thing about Chris Stuckmann is that you know that he's had his nose to the ground and he's been in this type of game for a long time, so he knows people. He knows where the good and who the good actors are. He should know who are the good actors to work with that won't show up late to set, kind of thing. But he'll have to. I don't know. We'll see. Shelby Oaks. When does that come out, James? Shelby Oaks. Well, they've been working on it for a while. I thought it was done. Actually, I thought it was all in the can. Maybe post production. Yeah, an hour and 39 minutes. No release date yet. So maybe that's why they had some needed more executive money to come in to help find a distributor for it. If not, if worst comes to worst, it'll probably end up on Shutter. Just as I said, the um, your first step up to the plate is not always going to be a home run, right? So temper yourself, prepare yourself, right? Kind of thing. It'd be cool if it was awesome, though. It would be awesome. It's it's an inspiration for us creators here on YouTube, right? That one day maybe we could be just like that. I would have to have time to sit down and finish the scripts first, though, guys, and I just don't have a whole lot of time to like. I would have to stop doing stuff like this and just focus in my efforts on that. There just isn't enough time in the day. And if you don't take time, if you don't make time, James, then how can you take time, right? It'll come around. I have faith. We'll see. Let's move on. Faces of Death. The Faces of Death remake earns an R rating for strong, bloody violence and gore. Now, yeah, the Netflix release cam earning. So this will be on Netflix, and it's going to have Docra Montgomery in it. Yeah, so basically, guys, if you don't know what the Faces of Death was, it was like from the what is it, late 80s, early 90s. It was close. It was supposed to be kind of like real life footage of people dying, but then it kind of came out that it was no, it was all staged kind of thing. And I think from what I read, this reboot of Faces of Death is going to play into that. Like, if you want to see like the real life stuff, go to the dark web. It's littered with it. It's kind of grotesque actually, and occasionally there on YouTube too, you can see like stunts gone wrong, or what do they call those? Extreme climbers falling. It's morbid watching that stuff, guys. But that's what Faces of Death was trying to be, a collection of all that stuff. It didn't really have a story. It was just, oh, here's another person dying kind of thing, right? Um, yeah. So the announced Faces of Death remake will be having rated R for strong, bloody violence and gore, sexual content, nudity, language, and drug use. So the first Faces of Death, yeah, I just talked about that. Um, their story will center on a female. The new one will center on a female moderator of a YouTube-like website whose job is to weed out offensive and violent content, and who herself is recovering from serious trauma, who stumbles across a group of that is recreating the murders from the original film. But in the story, primed for digital age of online misinformation, the question is, are the murders real or fake? See, now that's an interesting take. That's meta, right? That's very meta, because they're acknowledging they're that's kind of like they're preparing us as the audience. Like, well, I saw those; it was all fake. They're playing into that. They're admitting it straight up. Yeah, it was all fake. But now this new one is taken more from like a more fictional side. It's like blatantly fictional. That it's kind of like, well, are we filming it for real or are we not? Is it make believe? Is it makeup? That's an interesting take. I'm curious about this, and it's got Docra Montgomery there from Stranger Things. When is this supposed to come out? Well, if it's got a rating, it's got to be probably this year, guys. Not seeing it though. See me if I can pull that up on the IMDb. Yeah, it's not showing release date, so it's still got it's still trying to seal a distributor to come on board. But you know Dakra, you recognize him right away, Billy, right? He was also a Power Ranger at one point, wasn't he? Curious. Arglass says Kate Winslet is a great actor. I'll definitely be watching. Lee Miller, I have never heard of her. Yeah. I wonder, would Chris Stuckmann be pitching to show movie at a film festival? Well, probably. I mean, that's the way that usually goes, right? Your first films, you try to shop around at the festivals. Let's talk about one of my favorite peoples, Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez wants to show you LA's hottest restaurants. Well, aren't there already shows like that? Like You Gotta Eat Here and drive-ins and dives or whatever. But it's with Selena, so hey, I'd watch that. I'm a foodie. I like to watch those food shows. Um, Chopped, Hell's Kitchen. Hey, we watch Hell's Kitchen. Anyway, Food Network show, Selena Plus Restaurant, that takes viewers into LA's culinary hotspots like Lemon Grove. So the expensive places, guys. But it's curious. I'd watch it with Selena. Um, to premiere May 2nd on Food Network. So it's out today? Hmm. Pull up Food Network. Now I'm on the Canadian site. So maybe it's not going to show me. Top Chef, Worst Cooks in America. What was it called? LA, Selena plus LA. This is not a very good job of you. Selena plus restaurant. There's her collaboration. Oh, if it's on there, it's on there. Whatever. Let's not stall the show out. I'll check that out. Next, hit or miss. Yeah. Where are we at? We're 59 minutes. Oh, we're running a little late. Uh, Naked Gun. Paul Walter Hauser joins Liam Neeson in the reboot. We just talked about Paul Walter Hauser joining on to become Chris Farley in that biopic yesterday, right? So now he's going to be in the Naked Gun. Who's he going to be? Is he going to be the O.J. Simpson character, Nordberg? I don't see him being the captain. No, he will. Hauser will play Captain Ed. Ew. What's with my mouse doing that? Do I need a new mouse? Kiva Schaffer's feature Paramount set for 2025 release. So he's Ed Hawken, huh? I'm not seeing that. I thought they would have gone for an older person because he's the captain. And I hope they don't play him as like that screaming, stereotypical police captain that we've seen, like in Last Action Hero, that screaming one. Like we don't need that. And what else in 22 Jump Street? We don't need that. That's not what the relationship between him and Frank Drebin was like. They were friends. They trusted each other. They went to bat for each other, right? Now, who was it? George. Who played the original Ed Hawken? Because he did such a masterful job. Oh my God, James. George Kennedy. Yeah, see, they were around the same age. Ed Hawken. I don't know. Actually, Jeff Daniels was on. I think it was like a. Was it a late night show? Was it Colbert that he was on talking about his speed death? If you didn't know, and headlines are going with it, it was influenced by a Spielberg classic. It was about Jaws. Um, Basically, the way he described it is, if you didn't watch Speed, he goes into a house and he sees like this thermostat that's like the trigger for the bomb. He looks at it and then he makes a face. And he said that that face that he made was inspired from Roy Scheider, actually, from Jaws. Like when he was putting the chum in the water and he gets scared by it. He was inspired by that for that look, and it wasn't that much that he did. He said he went from a squinting face to a relaxed face or something like that. But it was cool that I like this because it shows that you can get inspiration from like other actors and techniques and stuff that he's watching stuff, right? So when it's nonsensical to me when I hear actors out there say, "I don't watch movies. I don't know what that is." Like Jonah Hill saying, "I don't watch other movies. I don't know what Star Wars is." It's like, you're an actor. Study the craft. Study what's going on out there, right? Look for ideas, things that you can use. And Jeff Daniels paying tribute or homage there to Roy Scheider. It's thumbs up in my book. Cool, man. What's this? Oh. Will Mad Max appear in Furiosa? No, he won't because she's younger. So there would be a younger Max. And so no, I don't see how that would be. I don't want to see Max in Furiosa. That comes out May 24th, guys. It's just around the corner. One of my most anticipated of this month for sure. Miller has previously stated that Max is lurking there in the background of Furiosa. Blink it and you'll miss it cameo. Really? So maybe, like, how's that possible? Or you can have a de-aged uh, Tom Hardy? Like, he won't even, like, it's about Immortan Joe and Dr. Dementus. Max is out there somewhere getting created, getting his family run down, right? So I don't know. It just feels unnecessary. Oh, this is a headline that just doesn't seem to go away. It's across the trades and social medias. I don't even know. I was going to comment on this, but I don't think I am. Daniel Radcliffe comments on critics saying he's ungrateful to J.K. Rowling. He again posted a statement that he was disappointed in J.K. Rowling's statements. Okay, fine, be disappointed. But if you actually sit down and listen to what J.K. Rowling was saying, yeah, I don't. I'm not going to touch that one today. Because I don't feel like it bringing down my mood, man. I'm in a good mood. Yeah. Uh, Arglass says there is a bit of a height difference between Paul Walter Hauser and Liam Neeson. Both have great comedy timing, though, so it should be good. It should be good, hopefully. Let's see if we've missed anything. The idea of you is trending. Is that because I just Googled it? That's that Anne Hathaway film. Kristen Stewart and Oscar Isaac to star in vampire thriller Flesh of the Gods. It follows a married couple, Raoul and Alex, who descend each evening from their luxury skyscraper condo and head into an eclectic nighttime realm of the 80s LA. So they go out and feast. Hey, that sounds kind of cool. Two great actors. Oscar always brings it, and I really like Kristen Stewart in Love Lies Bleeding. The idea of you is now certified fresh, 80%, 88%. I'm going to watch it for Anne Hathaway. I don't really care about medicine or whatever. Dead Boy Detectives. Meryl Streep to receive honorary Palme d'Or on the opening night of the Cannes Film Festival. Great career. She's an absolute legend. Why is she not in my top 5? She's definitely in the top 10 of best actresses, for sure. The legend. Anya Taylor-Joy stuns at Furiosa premiere in Sydney, Australia. What is with all these spikes? Wow. Try to sit down in that thing. Oi. Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah. Chris Hemsworth. Is that like a silk shirt? Mike Face and Jodie Comer in Bike Riders. The Idea of You is now on Prime Video. Dead Boy Detectives is certified fresh. Arglass says that he liked it. Most profitable small to mid-budget films in 2023. Anyone But You is the most profitable. Yeah, that's that Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney rom-com that's supposed to be on Netflix, but only on Netflix in the States, apparently. Insidious: The Red Door, The Nun 2, Scream 6, and Evil Dead Rise. 4 horror movies and 1 rom-com. No actioner, no dramatic film. So those are the genres that you need to be making on for streaming success. I still want to see Any Woman But You. I'll give it a fair chance when it comes out. Melissa Barrera. Abigail, guys. She was really good in Abigail. Lizzie McGuire movie. Whatever. I don't like these 10 years ago things. Which director would you like to see Zendaya work with next? Well, she's worked with Denis Villeneuve, Luca Guadagnino, Christopher Nolan, right? Has she worked? No, she hasn't worked with Christopher Nolan. So there. Fincher, maybe? There's Christopher Nolan right there. All right. Guys, we are overtime, so if there's any breaking news, we'll go out and we'll try to come back tomorrow for it. If not, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, guys. Our Bifer says, I want Zendaya to work with Quentin Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez. Rodriguez could be an interesting choice. Fade Alvarez. Yeah, with Zendaya in a horror movie or something. That would be awesome. Yeah. George Miller says that he would like to make another movie centering around Max. We also wrote what happened to Max in the year before we encounter him in Fury Road, the whole story of that, which would do. If Okay, so if he does another Mad Max, it'll be a prequel to Fury Road. I don't know. Just make you don't have to do that though, do you? Why do you need to? Why does that have to be a prequel to it? If he's off somewhere else, just make it a what? Yeah. Why do you don't shoehorn yourself to a timeline? It's weird. But people do want to see another Max film with Tom Hardy. I do. Just not be tied to the Furiosa story anymore. Anyway, we'll see how that unfolds. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Artglass says, cool. Thanks for the updates, James, and enjoy Tarot. Yeah, enjoy. Later on today, my straight out of the theater reaction for Tarot will be up on the channel. It won't be until like 10 o'clock like it was last night. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day right here from Mirror Domains.